Hi, and welcome to Gary's Garage. Just a quick segment today on battery cables. I'm working on this Cobra project and have to make some battery cables. So I've already done the run from the battery to a terminal on the firewall. I'll show you that in a minute. But I do have to then from the terminal go down to the starter. We want to maintain the same size as we have with the battery cable all the way from the battery, because you don't want to get any voltage drop on the starter. If the starter's laboring high compression engine or whatever, it can draw quite a few hundred amps. So you want to make sure you don't get too much of a voltage drop, because that voltage drop will slow the starter down. Just as important as having good grounds. Really, that's important. Otherwise your starter performance won't be there. So what we want to do is, I've got a piece of this flexible battery cable, and I've cut and stripped this wire back so it's the right distance, as you can see, and then we want to carefully get all of the wire inside, and you can see we've got it stripped the right amount because it comes right up against there. Some people like to solder these. If you're soldering it, leave some space. That way you can heat the terminal and push solder in here. Otherwise, and I won't be doing that. So let's move the camera and then we'll. Okay, I'm zoomed in on the vise, so you won't see my face. But there we go. So what I've got here is some aluminum that I use for. What I try and do is always, whatever you're crimping, use a metal that's softer than it, or similar softness, so that you don't leave marks on it. With the jaws being rough, I don't want to do that. So what we do with this guy is we set him up inside the vise, and you want to line it up. There we go, just like that, and hold it in tight, turn down. You don't have to go crazy with it. And that's step one, and you can already tell it's on there really good. So, but the next step, what we're going to do is put a couple of punch marks in there, and I'll do that on top of the vise. So I'll get my punch. So this is actually, I made this punch out of a piece of steel. And so we want to set this up so you have a good solid surface underneath. This is my little 2-pounder. And so the end of the tip is somewhat rounded, because you don't want anything that's going to cut into the terminal. I'm going to do 2 hits. One right beside each other. And there we go. And that mechanical connection will not fail. I've also included some heat shrink tube, because I like to keep these things. It's just for visual. It's just to make so that it looks really nice when it's finished. So I'm just going to heat that up, and there we go. And I'll just show you as we get it in the car. So this is our terminal, and this is the cable coming from the battery, and these are all our individual lower current loads. And so I've used this as a point so that I can I don't have to run the battery cable directly to the starter, because I had all the other loads on it. I didn't want the splice down there. So there we go. So what we're going to have to do, it's going to be off on the side. That's not going to work. Now this actually may take some time, because I have to take this screw off to loosen it up, because you can't have these cockeyed or whatever. They have to be flat so that they're pulled right up against the other for the inside nut. I could turn it off to the side to get that effect, but I don't like the cable coming off here. I want the cable coming straight down. So I'm going to have to put them back to back. And then I've got another one. This is the fuse for the alternator. So this fuse holder, so I will have another one coming over the top and into the fuse holder. and then from the fuse holder to the alternator. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work here, so I really don't want to watch this, so I'll be back. So I did this off camera, but as you can see, I've got the terminals back to back, one down on the bottom, and then so therefore now the material sits very close to each other, and that way the current will pass properly between one and the other cable, and then I've tied them off. Now the starter is on the passenger side of the car, so I have to route this cable over and down, and I haven't cut it yet because I'll wait till it's on the car, measure it out and cut it. So I'm just gonna tie it up until such time that we drop the engine in, which is about a week away. So the engine for this car, again, is the 4.6 4-cam. And so over the last week, I've installed an oil temperature sensor, down here in the corner in the dark, you can't see that probably, that's a water temperature, which that's in the block, and there's the other water temperature, which is the factory one right there. And then the oil pressure sender is right here, right on the oil filter. And please don't give me a hard time about the Fram filter. It won't be running with that on, so we will take, that's just what was on it when the motor came. So there we go. So that's some of the prep work that we're doing. It's just about ready to go as far as that's concerned. We just have to finish up a little bit of the wiring in the engine compartment, and I need to get the alternator cable in, and I've got the gasket in for the grommet in for the EFI wire harness, so I just got to get that mounted, and then it's getting all the fine things prepped, and we'll drop the engine in. So that'll be in an upcoming segment. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Gary's Garage. Thank you.